Hello, everyone. This is Oz, and we're going to get started in a minute. But first, I want to do a systems check. I've not done this in a long time, so do bear with us while we get started. So, right, if you can hear me, please give me a 1 in the chat area. Yeah, I can see that. John Reed, oh my God. Look at all those names. Dennis, and I think I need to make this a bit bigger so I can see everybody. Oh my God. Let's see. Okay, cool. Yep, good audio. Right. Okay. And then if you can see my screen, give me a 1 as well. Okay. And that would mean that everything is good. Or rather, give me a 2 if you can see the screen. Yep. Perfect. Okay, so it's about 3 minutes past the hour, and I'm not going to keep you any longer. Okay, we're going to get started right away. And as it says on the screen, yeah, I'm asking the question, can you rank on page 1 of Google in less than 2 weeks using symbiotization to help Google outrank Apple, and to be able to do this without backlinks? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And as you well know, I am Oz, and I'm going to be your co-host for what should be a very short webinar. I've also got Anthony Hayes here with me, and Tony will be speaking a bit later. Hey, Tony, are you there? Just give us a quick hi if you're there.
Yeah, hi guys. I just muted the microphone because I realized I was clicking away.
So this is Tony, and some of you might know him, but otherwise he'll be speaking later on. I just want to get started, okay? Because I know we are all very busy, okay? So cool, right? So is it possible for ordinary people like you and me to rank on page 1 of Google or YouTube for very high traffic keywords in 2 weeks or less, and in the process earn circa $4,000 a month, and do this without using backlinks and without working for Google? The simple answer is an emphatic yes. However, there is one caveat, and that is that you need to know how to use WordPress or YouTube, or preferably both. And it is actually possible to earn a lot more than $4,000 a month doing this. And for instance, here are some real life examples. And for privacy, I've left the surnames out. So we've got Jeremy, who earns around $5,000 a month, while Amit earns over $8,000 a month. And there are even people earning 6 and 7 figures every month, like Jamie, who earns over $120,000 a month, which equates to over 1.4 million a year, and Mark, who earns over $1.3 million a month. This is no joke, okay? And I'm not saying that you can earn this to start off with, certainly not. But what I am saying is that it is definitely possible for ordinary people to earn an extra $4,000 every month using symbiotization to help Google outperform Apple, and to do this without working for Google and without leaving your home. And we'll cover some of these case studies in a bit more depth later on, okay? So if you need to drive more free traffic to your websites or videos, or if you are interested in a hands-free opportunity to monetize your content, that is your websites or your videos, or if you just want to increase your income during this pandemic without having to leave your home, yeah? And basically, if you answered yes to any of the questions on the screen, then over the next 45 minutes to 60 minutes, you are going to discover exactly how ordinary people like Jeremy, like Amit, Jamie, and Mark are achieving this by leveraging a process called symbiotization. And if you are wondering what exactly symbiotization is, I'll come back to it in a few minutes. And I promise you'll be pleasantly surprised, because it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with whatever you may be thinking right now. And the thing you need to know for now is that this is a new opportunity, okay? And that after I reveal what symbiotization is, I'll also reveal how you can take advantage of this unique opportunity in 2021. Now, most people have not heard about this opportunity simply because it's not something that Google can announce publicly. And you'll see why this is the case when we get to the next slide. And now, if you are watching a recorded version of the webinar, because we do plan to record it, or we are recording it. So if you are watching the recorded version, then please be aware that the recording will not be up for very long. And I can't promise that it will even be available the next time you come here, which is why it's best to watch it to the very end right now while you still have the chance, okay? So you're probably wondering why this opportunity even exists, right? Well, here's the reason. There has been a fierce rivalry between Apple and Google for a very long time. And right now, there's an almighty battle for dominance going on between these two tech giants. And it's happening on so many different fronts. And on this slide, I've listed just a few of the technologies like operating systems, where you have iOS versus Android, apps, the App Store versus Play Store, smartphones, iPhone versus Pixel, and so many others. But there are many more that are not even on this list. And the thing is that both companies, both Google and Apple, are keeping their cards very close to their chest, which is why Google hasn't publicized their strategy for winning this battle. And the rivalry is so unrelenting that Apple has even decided to fight Google on Google's home turf, which is search engines, which is what I've got at the bottom there in red. So basically, Apple want to create their own search engine. And just in case you think I'm making all this up, right? Take a quick look at this article in Forbes from just October last year, October 2020. As you can see, October 28, 2020. Apple is building a search engine to take on Google, report claims, okay? And you can actually search for it on the internet if you want to. Now, remember the saying that when two elephants fight, it's the ground that suffers. So let me show you where you and I can come in and take advantage of this. So as at the 16th of January, 2021, which is less than 2 weeks from today, Apple's market capitalization, as you can see on the top left here, was $2.16 trillion, while Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, was valued at a measly $1.17 trillion. So in spite of all the technology rivalry between the two companies, they don't come close in financial terms because Apple's capitalization is almost double that of Alphabet or Google's. So, and as you can imagine, knowing Google and how competitive they are not happy to play second fiddle to Apple. And things are about to get very interesting in 2021 because Google wants to overtake Apple and become the biggest company in the world in financial terms. And they also want to extract revenge because Apple are encroaching on Google's home turf, which is search engines. So basically, Google has mapped out a very ambitious plan for achieving these two goals, okay? And the interesting thing about Google's plan is that they need your help. They need our help in executing it. And they want you, or they want us, or they want as many people as possible to become their business partners. And to become a partner, the only thing you need are websites or videos, or preferably both, as I said earlier. And Google will reward you for helping them achieve their goal. And basically what they want to do, their goals are first to continue to rank as the #1 search engine, which Apple is trying to topple, and then to overtake Apple on the financial leaderboard and become the biggest company financially. So basically, the stakes are very high. And as I mentioned earlier, Google is happily rewarding some of their partners to the tune of 7 figures each month. And for most of these partners, their initial earnings were actually less than $4,000. So they did not start at 6 figures or 7 figures or even 5 figures. But what they have done is gradually build up their earnings over time. So this is really what symbioticization is all about. Yeah, you scratch Google's back and they will scratch your back in return. Literally, that is what it's about. Now, before we go much further with symbioticization, I just want to say that this is not going to be your typical webinar. And I hope you don't mind if I don't waste your time telling you irrelevant details about my life, which most of you know about anyway. And most of you know that I've been involved with Google search in one form or another for over 10 years and have developed several groundbreaking tools for SEO and keyword research. In fact, at one time it was rumored that I work for Google, and that is entirely false because I have never ever worked for Google, okay, for a fact. Having said this though, please note that what I'm sharing with you this evening is very, very privileged information, which very few people outside the top echelon of Google have access to. And this is why I can't keep the recording of this webinar up for very long. Okay, and I'm seeing some very funny comments, which is why I'm getting distracted. Okay, anyway, the thing is, I really can't ever, or I can't recall ever being this excited about Google, even way back in 2010, which was 11 years ago, when I discovered that it was possible to rank on page 1 of Google without any content at all. Or in 2011, when I developed a tool for legitimately using duplicate content to outrank the websites which had the original content. And the funny thing is, the approach back then was to outsmart Google's search algorithm, because at the time, the algorithm wasn't very smart, to be honest with you. Okay. However, over the years, Google's search algorithm has grown a lot smarter, and it's become virtually impossible to outsmart it. And this is why many people, including myself, claimed that SEO no longer works. And that was until I discovered what I'm about to share with you today. And the way that Google became smarter, or the search algorithm became smarter, was literally by learning. Google has adopted a technology called machine learning, which you may have heard of. It's kind of like artificial intelligence. And Google has even gone on record to say that machine learning is the search engine's the search algorithm's third most important factor. I can see that here in the middle of the screen. And this is from WordStream. Okay, or you can actually do a search for this if you don't believe me about machine learning being the third most important factor for the algorithm. And you probably already know that one of the most effective ways for people or human beings to learn is by teaching them. Okay, and the reason I'm now very excited is that I just realized that the same thing also applies to machine learning, which is what Google's algorithm is using. Because one of the most effective ways to leverage machine learning is by machine teaching. Yeah, learn, teach. So to teach the algorithm. So basically, if you want to rank on page 1 of Google and YouTube for high traffic keywords, stop trying to outsmart Google's algorithm, which is what most people are doing. Instead, use machine teaching to teach the algorithm how to rank your content. And yeah, John is saying that he remembers the zero content top of Google thing. Yeah, that was way back in the day. I can't believe it's more than 10 years now. So things get really juicy when you combine machine teaching with the concept of symbiotisation, which is basically scratch my back or scratch Google's back, they scratch yours, which I talked about a few minutes ago. And this combination is called symbiotized teaching, as you can see on the screen there. So you combine these two concepts to get symbiotized teaching. And you will soon see that this concept of symbiotized teaching has become the most effective way to rank content on Google and YouTube in less than 2 weeks, which then enables you to use that content to help Google achieve their goal of overtaking Apple, and in the process earn as much as $4,000 per month or even more. So let me quickly show you how to use symbiotization and symbiotized teaching to get paid by Google, okay? And before I do that, let me take a quick sip of water. Right, so symbiotized teaching, which I've been talking about for the last few seconds, is actually the second part of this 3-phase symbiotization process. The process starts with symbiotized seduction here in maroon. Then after seduction, the next phase is the symbiotized teaching, which I've been talking about. And then we have symbiotized monetization. However, if you already have a monetization strategy in place, then you really don't need to bother with this phase. I can just focus on seduction and teaching, okay? And then each phase has 3 steps, which results in this 3x3 grid. So for the seduce phase, we have entice, arouse, and indulge. Then for the monetize phase, for the teach phase, we have find, act, and stay. And then for the monetize phase, we have outsource, OPC, which means other people's content, and diversify. So let me very quickly go into some more detail about each phase. So phase one, which is the symbiotize seduction phase, is kind of similar to on-page optimization. And one key thing that I want you to always remember is that for Google to achieve its goal of overtaking Apple financially, it needs content that real people love, and for that content to rank as high as possible in Google and in YouTube. So if you can help Google accomplish this, they will reward you handsomely. And like I said, this is what symbioticization is all about. And the main difference between symbiotize seduction and on-page optimization is that instead of optimizing for the search engine like on-page optimization does, you will need to optimize for real people, i.e. a human audience. And you then allow the search algorithm to use machine learning to rank your content based on how real people interact with it, okay? And this symbiotize seduction phase makes it possible to rank on page one of Google without using backlinks or without trying to outsmart Google, which is virtually impossible, like I said. And the first step in this phase is to basically entice real people to check out your content, be it your website or your video. Now, think of how a pretty woman in a bar catches the eye of a man. Yeah, he does this by using subtle body language signals to let the man know that she might have something he is interested in. And that's really all you have to do for this enticement step. Just let your human audience know you have content they may be interested in. Then, if they show interest in your content, you quickly proceed to step two. And this is where you arouse your audience, okay? Now, once again, think about what a pretty woman would do to arouse a man, okay? She does this by giving him a very small taste of what she has to offer. And this arouses desire in the man for more of what she has to offer. So once again, all you have to do in this arouse step is to provide your audience with a small snippet of your content. And if your audience shows any desire whatsoever for more, then you immediately proceed to the indulge step, which is the third step in this phase. And this is where you allow your audience to run wild with their innermost fantasies and desires. So basically, the goal for this phase is to create a stampede of visitors to your website or your video and keep them coming back for more because they cannot have enough, okay, of what you are providing. And the important thing to remember here is that Google's search algorithm is observing all this interaction between your audience and your content. And the algorithm will learn how to rank your content accordingly. Now, this will happen even if you don't have lots of backlinks linking to your content. The only problem, though, is that it might take a very long time for the search algorithm to complete the learning process on its own. And this is why many SEO experts think that this approach doesn't work well. And I used to think that myself, okay? The problem is that most of these people, or most of us, okay, miss out on the most important part of the process, which is symbiotized teaching, which is the second phase. Now, before we talk about symbiotized teaching, let's take a quick look at what can happen when you implement this seduction phase properly. So I talked about Amit and some other people like Jeremy. So Amit is in the technology niche, and he uses both website and video content. And by doing what I'm showing you here, he has over 176 page one rankings. And as a result of this, he has that stampede of visitors coming to his videos and website to the tune of $250,000 every month. And this enables him to earn over $8,000 every month. Okay, this is a real case study. And basically, I hope this gives you encouragement to leverage symbiotize seduction and to do it properly. Okay, so let's now go to the most important part, in my opinion, which is symbiotized teaching. Okay, and like I said a few seconds ago, this is the missing piece of the puzzle for most people. And this is why the few people who know how to leverage symbiotic teaching claim that it gives them an unfair advantage over their competition. Now, during this phase, you will use machine learning to accelerate the machine. Sorry, you will use machine teaching. I usually get them mixed up. You use machine teaching to accelerate the machine learning process that I talked about earlier. Okay, and that is what basically happens in phase one. So that the search, you want the search algorithm to learn how to rank your content in a matter of days, as opposed to months, which is what might happen if you skip this symbiotic teaching phase. So the first step in this phase is to teach the algorithm here at the bottom where and how your audience finds your content. Okay, where and how they find your content. Then the next step is to teach the algorithm how your audience behaves when it gets to your content, and what actions your audience takes on your website or your video. Okay, because you want the algorithm to learn this quickly. Then after this, you will teach the algorithm how long your audience typically stays to consume your content. And now, the thing is, the algorithm can actually learn all this data on its own. But like I said, it can take a very long time, which usually we don't have because it could take months. So the goal of this phase is to save time so that you can start the third phase, which is the monetization phase, sooner. And remember that this phase involves machine teaching. So software and automation is involved, as you may have guessed. And Tony will be talking about the software, okay, that does this in a few minutes. So let me quickly show you the kind of results that are possible doing this with Tony's software, and I'm sure he'll go into more detail about this. So here are some keywords, very competitive keywords about SEO and about YouTube. They have about 30,000 to 27,000 searches every month. For instance, YouTube SEO, it has 33,000 searches every month. Okay, and I think I have screenshots of the rankings that Tony did. And what we're actually showing you here, we can't show you everything, okay, because people, you know what people do when they find out about keywords and websites. So what we're doing here is actually using one of Google's websites, okay, which you cannot basically mess up or do negative SEO on. And Tony's also preparing some more case studies on a safe domain that we'll show people later on. But so here you have what is YouTube SEO, and Tony has been able to get this ranking on page 1 of Google, towards the bottom of page 1 of Google. I don't even know where it is. And here's another one, YouTube for SEO. I think this is the one that has 27,000 searches a month. And I also did this myself. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this so you can see that I'm doing it now. YouTube SEO, which is not a long tail keyword, has 33,000 searches a month. Okay, and to show you how competitive it is, see, Fiverr is actually using ads. Udemy is using ads. SEMrush is having to use ads to be on page 1. Then at number 1, you have Backlinks, which is a huge authority site. Neil Patel, another huge authority site. Then Search Engine Land. All these are authority sites on page 1. Then HubSpot, Ahrefs, and then down there we've got Tony's thing here, his case study here on page 1, just below Search Engine Journal. Okay, so this is just an example. We can't show you lots of other examples because we know how people behave when they see all these things, but we will be showing some later on, and Tony will tell you more about that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what is possible when you actually use this symbiotic teaching phase and add it to the seduction phase. Okay, however, having said all this, the whole objective, in my opinion, of ranking on page 1 is to earn money. And that is where the symbiotic monetization phase comes in, because it's all about monetizing your page 1 rankings, the page 1 rankings that you generate with the first 2 phases. And like I said before, if you are already monetizing your content and are happy with your earnings, then stick with what you are doing. Okay. Phase 3 is for those who do not have a monetization strategy in place. And remember that Google earns about 98% of its revenue from advertising. and they have become very, very good at monetizing content. In fact, that's how they're able to earn $1.17 trillion every year. It's from monetizing their content, okay? So in the first step of the monetization phase, we outsource, or you will outsource the monetization to Google and split the profits with them, okay? You get about 55%. It varies, okay? You get about 50 to 55%, and they get the rest. Okay, and let me quickly show you the kind of results that are possible from outsourcing to Google. So another person that I mentioned at the very beginning, Mark, okay, he's in the sports niche and he focuses just solely on video content. So he's got 812 page one rankings in YouTube and has 60 million visitors, a stampede of 60 million visitors going to watch his videos every month. And that earns him $1.3 million every month, doing what I'm showing you, basically by monetizing and outsourcing that monetization to Google after phases 1 and 2. Okay, but like I said before, I'm not saying you can earn 1.3 million this year, next year, or in 5 years, but this is what is possible. And he's not the only person, but we don't have all day. Okay, so outsourcing your monetization to Google is an easy, hands-free approach, okay, that allows you to monetize content virtually on autopilot. The only requirement is to create good content and then implement phases 1 and 2 of the process to rank them on page 1 of Google. One disadvantage, though, is that creating content is not infinitely scalable, and ultimately you'll hit a ceiling, especially if you're doing websites. Basically a ceiling in how much you can earn. And the smart way to smash through the ceiling is to start leveraging other people's content, which aka OPC. And this is very similar to leveraging other people's money, OPM, which you might have heard. Okay, and Warren Buffett, who is one of the richest people, okay, on earth, is one of the best examples of leveraging OPM, i.e. other people's money. And the same thing is possible with leveraging other people's content. So you don't have to create the content yourself. You basically leverage the content that other people have created. So one thing you can do to either boost the revenue you're earning from outsourcing or actually completely replace it is to leverage other people's content the same way Warren Buffett leverages other people's money. And then finally, in the third step here, in my opinion, it's never a good idea to put all your eggs in one basket for so many different reasons, okay? Which is why in the third and final step of this phase, you will diversify to other sources of revenue that are not reliant on Google. And the revenue you generate from diversification can boost or replace the revenue depending, can boost or replace the revenue you earn from outsourcing and OPC, depending on you, what you want to do or what you want to focus on. So the goal of this phase is to turn your page 1 rankings into money in the bank, period. It's a very, very simple objective. So that's basically the process in a nutshell, okay? So without this first phase, the seduction phase, your content won't stay on page 1 of Google for long, okay? Even if you're able to get there in a few weeks using the symbiotic teaching phase, okay? And if your content does not stay on page 1, then monetization will not be very effective because you won't make money for very long either. And then without the second phase, which is the symbiotic teaching phase, your content could take forever to get to page 1 of Google or YouTube, and which means that you cannot monetize it. You have to wait. It will take you a long time before you can start earning money with that monetization phase. And then without the monetization phase, you won't earn any money, even if your content is on page 1 forever, and even if you get there very, very quickly. So they all work together, okay? Collaboratively, they collaborate to work together and to help you earn money and also help Google achieve its goal of overtaking Apple, okay? And basically, they are all required if you want to achieve a quick and stable income from helping Google overtake Apple. And in my opinion, the sympathize teaching gives you the most bang for your bucks, because most people miss out on it. So there's very little competition in doing this. Okay, and this is why sympathize teaching has become the most effective way to quickly rank content on Google and YouTube, and then use that content to help Google overtake Apple, and in the process earn as much as $4,000 every month. So what is going to happen now is Tony is going to quickly show you how to automate the teaching phase of the sympatization process using some crazy software that he developed. So hey Tony, are you there? Hey Tony.
Hi, yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was listening. I was just away from computer for a second. Right, okay. I'll switch over, yeah?
Yeah, please take control of the screen.
Right, okay. Just give me 1 second, please.
Yes, to those of you asking if there's a replay, that is the intention. That is the intention. But if you are here, I would advise you to stay to the end. Don't leave, because you will miss out on something.
All right, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, I can, Tony. I can see your screen. I can see VidAttack Alpha.
Yeah, okay, perfect, okay. All right, guys, so we created this tool, and what this tool is basically doing is it is mimicking human behavior for the purpose of getting engagement signals that Google uses for the purpose of determining if it is providing the right results for the search queries that people are doing. Okay, so one of the ways it traditionally does that is via backlinks, which most people understand is like getting votes from different websites. It's kind of moved on from there. It's not left backlinks at all, but it's kind of moved into the engagement signals area, and it's becoming more and more of a ranking factor as we go forward, because one of the things that Google can see is how long people will stay on web pages, how they interact with web pages, and whether they're bouncing off when they get there, that kind of thing. So it will know if, or it will get a good indication from those engagement signals if it has give the correct result or a good piece of content as a result for that search engine query. Because we've got to remember that Google basically makes their money from advertising. So making sure that they are the best search engine in the world is really, really important to them, as it's their whole business is search. Okay, so here's what I have built to be able to take advantage of that. And now this is something that's not going to go away. I can't see this ever going away. It's just going to get more and more important. Okay, so here's what we've done. We have built a software that basically creates those user engagement signals. Okay, and what I mean by that is that this tool will go and find your content in the search results. It will click through from the search results. It will spend time on your content, and then it will just go away and rinse and repeat, okay, as many times as you tell it to do. Now, the thing is, that combination of the CTR clicks, the click-through rates from the search results, that is a ranking factor in itself, okay? The retention time and the watch time, for example, on a video, that is a ranking factor as well. If we can mimic those in combination, you don't need to go and get like tens of thousands of views. In fact, it's likely to happen that you will get them just because you're kickstarting that process. And that process itself will put you at the top of Google, at the top of YouTube search engines, okay? Now, YouTube search engines get a lot of traffic as well. I mean, it's massive amounts of traffic. If you ever have a look at keyword tools and they tell you about the keyword volumes for particular keywords, and then you go and see a video from somebody, you might see that video's got like 1 million views. It's got a completely different kind of algorithm as far as how it's going to show people content that it suggests that you spend time on. Okay, it's not just from Google search, it's not just from YouTube search, it's also from other algorithms within the YouTube as well, but it all can be boosted with the user engagement signals. Okay, so those CTR clicks, the time spent on your content, and then what happens is you're kickstarting that campaign so that when the real traffic comes, because you're going to get rankings, okay, when you start to get those rankings, the real traffic comes, as long as your content is reasonably good to maintain some decent statistics as far as like the time spent on your video, the engagement signals, etc., then you will maintain your rankings. Okay, so what you can see from this, what I'm going to show you from this, is how I kickstart campaigns so that it escalates later, and it all comes down to the quality of the content in the end, because if you haven't got great content, you're not going to be able to maintain rankings no matter what you do. Okay, but if you understand the principles behind this, then you understand as well that you don't need more campaigns. What you need is just less campaigns, but quality content, and focus on less things at one time so that you can get bigger results. Okay, so here's how this works. Basically, what we do with this is we feed this software information that we want it to achieve. Okay, so if I just open this up here, I'm just going to click on the edit here, and you can see I've got some keywords and stuff down here, and I've had this working today. Now, this is an older campaign that I've revived today just for the purpose of demonstration, so that you can see just how effective this is. And all we're doing in here is we're going to put in a video URL. Now you can see here as well, we've got like a blog browser, we've got a playlist browser, we've got something called click and bounce as well, which I will explain a little bit later. But this is the main one that I use. This is the main one, the video views. Okay. Now we're not trying to generate thousands and thousands of video views. We are not trying to do that. Why? Because it takes too long to do. It doesn't do that combination of the click through from the search results to your video, because if you've got a 10-minute video, then you set your retention time on here. Say for example, you set a retention time in here for like 93%. That's going to take 9 minutes, okay, to be able to go through that. So you're not really physically possible going to be able to go and get like thousands and thousands of views. The good news is that you don't need to. Okay, you really don't need to, because you just need that combination. And there's some other things that we stumbled upon while we were doing this that really kind of blew my mind. Okay, so here's the thing about this. When you put these keywords in here, what it's going to do, it's going to start to pop up browser. Okay, when that browser pops up, it's going to start to search with the search engines that you choose. And you can see here, we've got multiple search engines in here. We've got YouTube, we've got Google Video. That's when you search on Google, and you've got a tab for images, and you've got a tab for news, and you've got a tab for video, etc. Well, that's Google Video. Okay, Google Video is becoming more part of the carousel now on the page one of Google. Okay, and this is a quick and easy way to go and rank on that carousel as well. It's really, really, really that powerful to be able to give you those user engagement signals that Google just propels you into that position, and that will get real traffic for you. Okay. So we also got in here Bing and Yahoo, and we also added the Bing and Yahoo videos sections in here as well. Now these are very, very significant. They might seem like not as important, but actually they can be, because what we're doing here is when you do a search in Bing or Yahoo, for example, you will have those tabs at the top, like for images and video, etc. When you click on the video and you start to play a video, they play it with an iframe, but there's an option there to click through to go to YouTube. Okay, and that's really important, and that's what we do with this software. We actually click through, so we bring in traffic from Yahoo into YouTube. We're bringing traffic from Bing into YouTube, Google property. Okay, so Google rewards that content that is pulling that traffic from a competitor over into Google, into YouTube. Okay, that's what we're doing there with these. So they're strategically built for that purpose. In fact, I wanted these more than I wanted the main search engines. That's why I got this built. with these extra search engines in here, because I really wanted these two to be in here, because I know that is a major ranking factor if you can start to pull people in from other platforms into a Google platform, such as Chrome stores, such as YouTube or something like that. Okay, properties that Google will own. Okay, so here's what happens. We can do some basic settings in here, but this is the main setting that I use. Now, this main setting that I use, everything is set up literally in less than, not even 3 minutes. It's not even 3 minutes. Honestly, it's not even 3 minutes. If you know your keywords, okay, then this is just as, it takes as long as it takes to paste in your keywords in here. Do some very basic settings in here. Tell it how many views you want to do, okay, and then you can click on save, and it's just going to kick off and start to do those searches, start to click through on the results once it finds it, and then it's going to start to watch your video. Okay, so that's basically how that video viewer works. Let me just close this quickly. Okay, so we also got the same thing with the blog browser. It does exactly the same thing. And what this will do as well with the blog browser, it will find your content on the search engines, and then it will click through and it will go into your website, and it will browse about your website, and it will even go into other pages in your website as well. Okay, now the key thing here is to understand that if somebody's spending about 2 minutes on a page, that is a good user behavior signal. That's a good engagement signal. So knowing that, if you wanted somebody, or if you wanted to mimic the behavior of somebody to go to 4 different pages on your website, which the software would do if that's what you told it to do, then you would have to set that overall time in here. It's not done by a percentage like a video is done, because a video can be 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So you can tell the software, like, watch 80% or 70% or 90%. The software knows what to do when it sees, when it understands how much time is on that video. But on a web page, it's a completely different thing. So what we did there is we just do an average of time. Okay, so for 2 minutes average for 4 pages is going to be 8 minutes that we're going to tell the software to spend on that particular campaign for every time it goes and visits that website. Okay, this is why we can't do it in high numbers, and thankfully we don't need to, because you only need to do this, 20, 30, 40 times sometimes, and you're sitting on top of Google. Okay, it's that powerful. It really is that powerful. Now the thing with this is it's always going to randomize as well. It's always going to randomize. It's never ever going to be something like 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 2 minutes. Okay, for all 4 pages on a web page. Equally, the same with the videos as well. If I do like between 90 and 100%, it's never ever going to be the exact same amount of time every single time. It randomizes in there, and it even mimics human behavior as well when it's actually in the search engine browser. Okay, because what it does is it will scroll up and it will scroll down. It will even scroll past your results and go to the bottom of the page, and then scroll back to your result and click through on it. Okay, so it's mimicking human behavior as far as we can make it happen. And then it's going to watch that content or spend time on your web pages, on your WordPress site, for example, change the pages, spend a couple of minutes on each, etc. And then it will go back and start again. Okay, that's why we want to have multiple keywords like I just showed you here. Okay, these multiple keywords, what we can do with them is we can construct them in such a way that you're pretty much guaranteed to increase your rankings, and not only just increase the rankings of something like the video, but you're going to increase the rankings of any external links that you have within your video as well. Okay, so we kind of stumbled upon this by accident, where we found out that if I've got one link, or if I've got any links in the YouTube description, and I'm doing these CTR clicks with the high retention views, that the video starts to rank. And then something weird started to happen that we started to notice, and this was complete accident. We discovered this. This is just like random for us. We were not expecting this. What happened is whatever that link was in the description, it starts to overtake the video ranking. The video ranking starts to drop, and that link in the description starts to rank. It starts to rank higher. Okay, and that's exactly what you just saw there when Oz showed you those screenshots from the Chrome store page. Okay, So what I've been doing, because I use the Chrome Store page a lot, I use it a lot. I have tools that build Chrome extensions, and we build our email list from that. We build thousands and thousands and thousands of people every single month from an email list from the Chrome Store. Okay, it's just a very, very, very powerful tool that we've got that is able to go and collect email addresses. But we use this tool to get that initial kickstart, to get that initial rankings, to be able to get those initial traffic that comes with those rankings that we generate. Okay, so here's what happens here. Here's a very, very cool trick that not a lot of people know and that we kind of stumbled upon. Okay, so tip number one is that if you've got one link in the description of your YouTube video, that link, whatever that content is, it could be a landing page, it could be a blog post, it could be another video, it could be whatever you want that piece of content to be, whatever you're linking to. It could be a sales page. It will start to outrank the video. It will start to climb over the video, and it's going to sit there and rank. Okay, strange thing, but it's true. Okay. Second thing is that we stumbled upon was that when we were doing this at first, we noticed that we only got rankings for the keywords that we were doing the CTR clicks for. So say, for example, I've got in here YouTube SEO checklist. Okay, we discovered that if the CTR click was for YouTube SEO checklist, that's what would start to rank. Okay, and I was scratching my head thinking, well, it's great that we can do that, but wouldn't it be better if we could do it like for multiple keywords? And of course we can do it by using multiple keywords here. But I stumbled upon another key thing that I kind of missed it for a long, long time. And it just dawned on me one day, then I went back and checked, and then I tested it even more. And in fact, I found this was right. Okay, the key is in your title. In your title here is to broad optimize your title. Okay, so this is a secret hack number 2 that nobody really knows, nobody ever talks about. Okay, is that if you broad optimize your YouTube video titles, then if you put keyword phrases, if you create keyword phrases that you want to search for in here, for example, or you want to rank for, you're going to put it in here. As long as those keyword phrases, the words from those keyword phrases are in your title, it will start to rank you for it. Okay, so for example, you can see I've got like 35 YouTube SEO tips that work, SEO checklist tool 2020. Okay, if I wanted to rank for YouTube SEO 2020, that would be possible using this method. All I would do is put that keyword in here, okay? And I would go and get some CTR clicks along with the high retention views, okay? If I wanted to rank for YouTube SEO tips at work, that's an exact match phrase, that would definitely work. If I wanted to rank for YouTube SEO tool 2020, that would work as well. Okay, so a broad match optimization will work. And this is how we can rank for multiple keywords, by the way that we construct our title. Okay, nobody else is talking about this because nobody else has stumbled upon it, because we built this technology to be able to do stuff like this. And by doing it more and more and more, we start to pick up things that we didn't expect to pick up. We start to learn things that we didn't expect to learn. We start to discover things just by doing and seeing results, and then testing a little bit further and confirming it. Okay, so these 2 hacks that I've just shared with you, these are real things. Okay, one link in your description, if you're getting CTR clicks and high retention views, whatever that link is, it's going to start ranking on Google. Okay, so in effect, YouTube video views can rank web pages on google.com. You see that? YouTube video views can rank web pages on google.com. And the only correlation that is there is that you have the link in the description of the YouTube video with that combination of CTR clicks and high retention views. You are ranking web pages with YouTube video views. Sounds random, but it's real. That's the 3rd secret hack that you've learned today, okay? These are all real things. Now, when we look at those search results, I just bring up here, I'll show you another example that we're working on right now. And you will see that these keywords like what is YouTube SEO on YouTube, for SEO, etc. I was basically cherry picking these for the purpose of ranking them. Okay, now I've got two things happening here in my favor. One is that I'm using the Chrome Store page, which will rank pretty well. Second, that I kickstarted my campaign and immediately started to get results very quickly for this particular campaign. Okay, it just took off with that combination of keywords that I had within the title, etc. Part of it was by accident, and then I realized later part of the reason why it works so well. But when we look at that video has got like over 10,000 views now, and it started with the kickstart just like this. Okay, just like I'm showing you here. Now, there's one I'm working on right now. And I'm going to show you here. You can see here for CBD oil for dogs, CBD for dogs, CBD oil for dogs with arthritis. Now, we just recently started this one. I've been running a few views on this today. Okay, you can see I've got 42 views on this, and we're starting to rank already for CDB for dogs with hip dysplasia. Okay, now here's how this works.
Tony, 1 second. Hi, Tony. Is that on page 2? Is that ranking on page 2 already?
Yeah, it's ranking on page 2 already. Yeah.
Wow.
That's for the long tail. That's for the long tail. But we start with the long tail. We start with the long tail. You know why? Because that headline strategy, that title strategy, where we're broad optimizing, we're actually broad optimizing for the keyword CBD for dogs, which gets 90,000 views. So it's a process, and the process starts with the long tail. And then as we start to see some rankings for the long tail, you will start to see as well, you can go and start to check at that point, are we getting any movement for the shorter tail keywords? If not, you just keep hitting it. You keep hitting the long tail until it happens, okay? And then when you start to hit the short sort of keywords, the high traffic keywords, then we're going to tighten it. We'll tighten it. We will still use long tail in the sense it might be an extra word or two. So for example, I might have like CBD for dogs and an extra word, okay? CBD for dogs 2021, for example, okay? It can be anything. It could be CBD oil for dogs. It could be any kind of variation. We just wanted to be able to take those long tails and reduce them each step until we're getting to the keyword that we really want, okay? And then we can really target it. But again, it all comes down to maintain your rankings, because when you start to rank for keywords like this that have got traffic, then the real user behavior signals, the real engagement signals will start to kick in, because people will start to click through from the search results to your content. Okay, this is why it's better to do less content and focus on good content with these kind of campaigns. Because if you can understand those 3 or 4 things that I've just told you in the last few minutes, if you can just take that on board, understand how it works, and go and test it for yourself and see that it actually does work, this is real stuff, you've got a major advantage over probably about 95% of people who are doing search engine optimization.
That's right, Tony. Just to mention, that is actually where the phase 1 of the seduction comes in. So if you do what Tony's saying, then you need to get your seduction right in phase 1, so that when you rank on page 1 of Google or YouTube, you don't drop out of the rankings because you don't have the user interaction that you've taught Google to expect. Okay, all right, carry on, Tony.
Yeah, so basically that's how this software works. Now, it's very easy to, I said at the beginning, or we put it on one of the pages for the webinar registration, I think, that it takes 3 minutes campaign setup. Well, here's the truth, okay? If I come back into this one here, this video's got over 10,000 views now, okay? We started that campaign with the Video Tag Alpha, okay? I start all my major campaigns with the Video Tag Alpha. I've got multiple YouTube channels. In fact, there was a guy actually contacted us last week and said that we want to pay you between $100 and $1,000 for you putting a video on your channel. And I said, well, I've got thousands of channels, and I can retire then. So because we're testing stuff all the time. And basically what we're doing there is we've got a whole bunch of channels that we're doing a whole bunch of testing on, and we're running different campaigns at different times for different keywords. And I'm even playing around with doing campaigns on other channels that are linking back with that one link to a main channel so that we can play around with that, so that we can do some kind of internal YouTube engagement signal campaigns, okay, all within YouTube sort of ecosystem, because whatever happens in YouTube, we can affect what happens in Google if we just follow that one principle, like put one link in the description. Now you can go back later and put some extra links in your description once you start to get the real traffic. At that point, it doesn't matter. It's out of your control then, it's out of your hands then. All we have done to that point then is Kickstarter. You can go back into your YouTube description, you can put in your link for your Twitter account, for your Instagram account, whatever you want at that point. But until you start to get that real traffic, you just do exactly the steps that I've shown you. Okay, so fine coming in here. One thing that I want to make sure I've got straight away is a headline that can take multiple keywords. So if I've got keywords like, just close that again quickly. If I've got keywords like YouTube SEO tips, that's very, very easy. We've got an exact match in here. But if I've got YouTube SEO checklist, I need to make sure that these words are all in the title. So what you want to do is have a look at your title, and you construct your title around the keywords that you really want to target. So if you've got 3 or 4 main keywords that you really want to target, you're going to make sure that the words from those keywords are all in this title. Okay, and from there it's really easy. That's the hardest part, believe me. That's the hardest part, and it's really easy. It's actually kind of fun. It's like making a delivery order for food and you're picking the food that you want, because what you're doing here is you're choosing the keywords that you want to rank for. And it sounds ridiculous, but this is real stuff. This is real stuff. This is what happens with this, and it's just really, really super powerful. I've got another campaign I'm running here as well. You know about all those kind of funnels and funnel keywords and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's extremely competitive, really competitive, even just within YouTube itself. And we started this campaign like yesterday, I think, or day before, and we're already starting to rank in YouTube. Now, YouTube can give us another major advantage that a lot of people don't realize, and that is that you can get, you can use these user behavior signals or these user engagement signals to get more suggested video placements as well. Suggested videos, when somebody logs into YouTube, they might see your video recommended to them on that login page, on that page after they logged in, or it could be in the sidebar to the right, the up next kind of section, your video could be showing there. And that is based on just basic algorithm. In fact, they even tell you exactly how that works. That works with the engagement of the video, as far as like the watch time and the retention time, and are people clicking on it? Okay, at that point we can't influence whether somebody's going to click on your video, except for have a really attractive thumbnail and have a good title, and maybe put some curiosity or that kind of thing in your headline, your title. But these engagement signals that we create with this tool can put you there in the first place. Okay, now a lot of people will be familiar with people like Brian Dean and Neil Patel and Ahrefs, etc. They've got very, very successful YouTube channels. Now, Brian I follow quite closely, because he's always coming out with stuff that he can explain in a way that is easier to understand than most people. Okay, so I like to watch his videos because I can pick up stuff that is easily explained to me to understand. One of the things that I picked up on from, I think it actually might have been one of his paid courses, was that he gets 2 times the traffic from those suggested videos. Okay, so he calls it SVO, suggested video optimization, okay, than he does from the YouTube search. He gets 2 times more traffic from the suggested video than he does from the YouTube search. You can see the way that YouTube and Google has gone with this then. So they are basically saying, if this has got good engagement signals, this is what we're going to recommend. Even if it's not exact keywords, if somebody's watching a video that's not exact keywords that he came to be able to watch that video, I'm going to show this video anyway because it's related. It's a similar topic. It's not exact, but I think, or we think, this is going to be appealing to that person based on the engagement signals. Okay, so you can get even more traffic from that with the engagement signals that this tool actually creates. Okay, that's basically how we're working. So when it comes to setting up your campaign, your title comes first. That's what you're going to work on. Okay, and then you can put your keywords from there, and that's the keywords that you're going to work with. Now start with the long tail and bring it down. Okay, this one's been running for a while. It's not a new campaign. I just revived it this morning. Really,
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, someone's asking how long can the title be?
You've got 100 characters, and you should use 100 characters initially. You've got 100 characters in the YouTube title. So you want to make your title you want to put your main keyword front loaded. Okay. So your main keyword could be something like YouTube SEO checklist or YouTube SEO tips, etc. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to put your sort of main keyword, but you've got that whole 100 characters. So here's some other optimization tips for YouTube titles. If you put a number, you get a higher click-through rate. If you put brackets, something in brackets, if you put question marks, you get a higher click-through rate. In fact, Brian Dean has got some data that says if you've got brackets, your click-through rate increases by 38%. 38%. If you can put a number and brackets and a question mark, then that's the combination that's basically that they've got the data for that they say will increase the click-through rate. So you can use some or all of those three things to be able to increase the amount of click-through rate that you get. But your thumbnail is going to have a lot of say in it as well. So you want to get something that is big, bold letters, etc. Something that catches the eye, something that's got a little bit of a contrast in YouTube as well. You don't want to have like all red and white when YouTube is red and white and when everybody else is red and white. You want to just do something slightly different that stands out. If you can do that kind of thing, then it will help you just to get noticed first of all. And if you've got an appealing headline, etc., then you can use it. But start off using as much of that 100 characters as you need to use to get your keywords in. Okay. But then later, once the real traffic comes, you can start to bring it down a little bit and start to make it into a headline that is going to be designed for the clicks like a real headline would be. But initially, when I start the campaigns, I'll use close to the 100 characters. I'll use all of it if I can. Any other questions?
No other questions at the let me have a quick look to see. Yeah, John Robbins is asking, I don't know if this is a question or a statement. He's saying it does the same rank trick for Yahoo and Bing. I don't know if he's asking if it does the same rank trick for.
Does it rank in Yahoo and Bing? Actually, to be honest, I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. I've got a little trick with the Bing search engine that I use, but it's actually based on doing some paid ads. I can spend like $5 or $10 on paid ads to go and rank for multiple keywords with one piece of content. And basically, all we're doing is we're getting like penny click Bing ad clicks based around maybe 6 or 7 keywords that we want to drive traffic from. And again, we're using a long tail strategy for that, but that's a completely different strategy. I'm guessing it would work like that. The user behavior signals are going to be the same. The engagement signals are going to be the same. But the key thing for us, the way I've designed that to happen, the way I got my coder to build it, was that when you go into the Bing results, let me just bring up bing.com here, and you can see the same with Yahoo if you go and check Yahoo yourself. If I go in here and I do like the CBD, I'm using another screen just for a second. Just bring this over. So if you see here, I've got Microsoft Bing open here. You can see we've got the tabs at the top. If I go into the videos, you can see they've got a carousel kind of thing as well happening here.
Yep.
They're mimicking each other. They're all sort of following each other. And the Bing you can get a lot of traffic from. That's why it's worth to spend even just 5 or 10 or even 20 bucks on some Microsoft ads so that you can get clicks for those particular keywords. It relates those clicks, those keywords to your content, so you can rank one piece of content for multiple keywords. So if you're getting traffic from Bing for weeks, months, years, because you spent 20 bucks, it's kind of worth it because you can get a lot of traffic from there. Not as much as Google, but it's still a lot of traffic. It's still a massive search engine. Okay, so when you're clicking through on here, you can see these results. Now, when you click to watch these results, I'll just click on this first one here. What you'll notice is that it has this iframe, okay? But we have this here, the youtube.com. This is what we optimize for, so we get the click coming from there, taking people out of Bing and into the Google property. There we go. We just created an extra engagement signal
view. Yeah.
that Google actually likes, because you're taking someone from a competitor
Right.
section into
Yeah.
Google property. So
Yeah.
they like that. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. The same thing with Yahoo as well. We did the same thing. It works exactly the same way with Yahoo. You got the video tab at the top, and then you can click through.
Excellent stuff, Tony.
All right.
Cool. All right. Thanks for this demo, Tony. So I'm going to round up because we've done an hour now. So hopefully we can get finished in the next 15 minutes or so. And there are a few questions that I think you might need to answer privately in the chat. So if you give me control of the screen, then you can answer the questions while I continue with the rest of the presentation. Yeah. And if you've got any more questions, just type them into the chat and Tony will answer them. All right, guys, please give me one if you can see my screen saying quick demo. Excellent. Okay. All right, I'm gonna carry on from. Yeah, thanks again. Thanks once again, Tony.
Welcome.
That was excellent, and there's so many takeaways. One that stuck out for me was the CBD oil keyword, for which you're already ranking on page 2, and that has a search volume of over 90,000. I noticed, and you're already on page 2 in 24 or 48 hours. That's amazing, and shows how powerful this can be, just to accelerate the ranking process. But you do need to have great content, which Tony did emphasize, and that is the phase 1 of the 3-phase process. Okay, so just to recap, okay, if you want to help Google overtake Apple, and like Tony mentioned, this is a very competitive game. You've got Yahoo, you've got Microsoft, who are lower down, but they're all competitors. You've got Apple, you've got Amazon, okay? And Google wants to be number 1. And if you want to help them achieve this, okay, by ranking on page 1 of Google and or YouTube for high traffic keywords, and to do this in less than 2 weeks, as you've seen Tony demonstrate, without using backlinks, and then in the process earn as much as $4,000 a month or more, that you need to leverage this 3-phase symbioticization process, and every phase is important. But like I said, I think the teaching phase gives you the most bang for the buck because very few people are utilizing it. So in phase 1, you will need to seduce your audience, like I told you how to do. And then in phase 2, you use a software tool like Tony's, and I don't think there are many that do what Tony's tool does. Okay, you need a tool that is going to basically teach Google's search algorithm how your audience interacts with your content, and this is basically to accelerate the process. Okay, it won't do the job on its own if you don't get phase 1 right. And then in phase 3, you need to monetize those page 1 rankings if you haven't already done so. Okay, so that is a summary. And to do this, you've got 2 options. Okay, you can go away and use everything that we've shared with you during this webinar to generate page 1 rankings and monetize these rankings. Okay, you can do it yourself. All right, use the information that we've shared with you, or you can let Tony and myself help you do this as quickly and as efficiently as possible based on our years of knowledge, experience, and also using the software that Tony has demonstrated. And he only demonstrated a very, very small part of it. There's a lot more that he can do, but we'll be here all day if he, had to demo everything. So if you want to do this yourself, then you can log off now, okay? And we wish you all the best, okay? Because this is really, really something new. It's a new opportunity. If, on the other hand, you want to work with Tony and myself, then let me quickly show you what we have put together for you. And we've actually put this very, very quickly, so it's not perfect. Okay, I just got so excited when I found this, and I said, hey, Tony, we have to work together. So this is work in progress, but you are the first guys to see this. Okay, you are the very first guys to see this, and we're going to be, working closely together to perfect this. Okay, so we've joined forces to put together the easiest and quickest SEO system known to man, and it consists of 3 parts. Okay, the S, the T, and the M. And as you can guess, this stands for seduce, teach, and monetize. Very simple. For now, we might change the name later on. So in part 1, okay, what you're going to be doing is to create a non-stop stampede of visitors who cannot get enough of your content, and to keep them coming back for more. Okay, like you saw for Mark, he has 60 million visitors every month. Okay, so what you're going to do is, what you'll need to do is, we'll show you how to entice strangers, and that is basically cold traffic who have never heard of you before. And then when you've enticed them, we'll show you how to arouse them, okay, to create that desire. Okay, and then the third step, or the third part, is how to indulge those people that you have aroused, and this basically equates to phase 1 of the process. Okay, then in part 2, okay, that is the machine teaching, and this basically comprises of the software that Tony just demonstrated, okay, which you will use to generate page 1 rankings in less than 14 days. In fact, based on what Tony has shown you, this could happen in 48 hours or less, depending on the keyword. For a 90,000 search volume keyword, he's on page 2 in 48 hours or less than 48 hours. And this requires less than 5 minutes of work. The software already exists, but we're going to be making lots of tweaks and improvements and enhancements in the weeks to come. Okay, so basically this will help you automate the symbiotize teaching phase of this 3-phase process, accelerate your page 1 rankings, and like I said, requires less than 5, even 3 minutes of work. So that is part 2 of what we have for you. And then part 3 equates to the monetization phase, and we've called it page 1 banking. Okay, and this is basically how to turn your accelerated page 1 rankings into money in your bank account. Okay, so first of all, you start out with partnering with Google. We'll show you how to do that. Then once you've got that working, we'll show you how to leverage OPC, that is other people's content. This makes it really scalable, and the sky becomes your limit, really. But if you're happy just to earn small sums, you could stick with partnering with Google. Then in the third step, okay, or the third part of this module, we'll show you how to diversify your earnings. Okay, so you're not relying just on Google. Like Tony mentioned, he got contacted by somebody a few days ago who wanted to pay him between $100 and $1,000 every month for one of his channels, and he's got thousands of channels. That is just one of the many ways that you can diversify your earnings without depending on Google entirely. Okay, so what will this include? So it includes the software, okay, and there are different versions, or should I say different options for the software, which Tony will show you, okay, in a bit. They will have an action plan for you, 7-day action plan that you can use, so you can have everything done and ready in 7 days. Then we're going to have detailed video training for each of these 3 phases and each of the 9 steps within the 3 phases. And then you're also going to get implementation worksheets for this, okay? And then, as you would expect, this does come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And there's fast action bonus as well. And I should have given you a link already, but hopefully that comes very soon. Okay, so Tony, are you there? Hey, Tony.
Yeah, sorry.
Do you want to quickly talk about the fast action bonus that those people that are watching this live get?
Yeah, okay. So we built a tool. In fact, going back a little bit, I was doing promotion for somebody else's product, and I had seen recently, just before that, I had seen this strategy from a guy called Doug Cunnington about keyword golden ratio. So I went looking for a tool that did the all in title. competition volume for all entitled keywords, and I couldn't find one that was working anymore. So I got my coder to go and build one that we used for that particular promotion that we were doing as affiliates. It was a webinar that we were doing, hosting. And what we did then is we took Doug Cunnington's keyword golden ratio strategy and we automated it completely. And what we noticed very, very quickly was that the way Doug is teaching it, there's a lot of intricacies before you get to the point where you would just manually go and check the sort of all entitled volume, because what you would have to do then is you would go and put a keyword phrase in, you would see how many competitors, how many pages, etc. Google was showing for that particular keyword, and that's kind of a long manual process. And when you do this for like hundreds of keywords at one time and automate it, you realize how many are like not suitable for that strategy, for that golden ratio that the Doug actually has. So what we did is we created this tool that automates that. But more importantly, here's what happens. So often when we get these kind of tools, when we start to build these kind of tools, I have kind of afterthoughts, and these afterthoughts often turn to be much, much better than the original thought, okay? So the afterthought was, let's also make some value for this by using, by adding a YouTube keyword poking tool, so that you could take a video and you could put a bunch of keywords, and basically what you could do then is you could put that video into YouTube over multiple YouTube channels, the same video, but with different headlines and with different thumbnails. Okay, so let me just fire this off. So we put that in there as well. But what I did, I had another afterthought after that. Okay, let me just show you very, very quickly. And I thought, well, why don't we go and find the keywords that people are actually using for these keywords inside YouTube? I'm talking about the tags, but do it in bulk. So the keyword tool is here. You can see, look at how many red here and just a few green. Imagine you were doing that manually, okay? That's not the exciting part of this tool. The exciting part is in here, the keyword pocket tool, where we can create these campaigns. And basically what we can do is we can upload into accounts, like you can see these, all these YouTube channels I've got in here. I told you I've got thousands of channels. I wasn't joking. I wasn't exaggerating.
You weren't, were you?
No, definitely not. So here's the cool thing about this, guys. Here's the cool thing. If I open this up, right, and I want to put my keywords and stuff, I'll show you the keyword builder tool in a minute, but have a look at this. I've got this thing called a tag grabber here. And if I put in here, let's just put in here CBD oil for dogs, for example. And what I'm going to do is tell it to go and find.
Tony, 1 second. Are you doing a demo?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not seeing your screen.
Are they not?
No, because it's still, yeah, you need to take control.
I'm
not sure. I'm not sure I remember how to do it.
I forgot. My apologies. Yeah. Let me just switch it back over. It will take like literally about 3 minutes to show this. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know when
guys, please do bear with us. We haven't done webinars for ages, so yeah. We're out of practice.
You see?
Yeah, I can see it now. I can see a little tool.
So let me just come back a bit. Let me just come back. So this, the KGR tool, it's looking like this. Now, if you were doing this manually with the KGR stuff, look at how many you would find not suitable.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would find suitable.
Is it the ones in red? The ones in red are not suitable. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would waste a lot of time, or you'd need to be really specific. This tool automates that. You can put like hundreds of keywords. It will eat up your captures though. So you want to be a little bit more controlled in that, but that's not the best part of this tool. The best part of this tool is this, the keywords poking tool, where you can see the accounts I was showing you, the accounts. Okay. Yeah. I have literally got thousands of accounts.
All these are channels, yeah? Wow.
All these are channels, yeah. I have literally, I wasn't lying, I wasn't exaggerating. I've got thousands of channels. I've been doing YouTube SEO stuff since way back 2011 or something like that. We started to build our first software.
Like 10 years, yeah.
So, in fact, this tool, the VideoTech Alpha tool, the first version of it was 2014. And that's why we've got unique strategies, because we've been developing that tool over the years, and we've been noticing things by using it over the years. So one of the questions was, like, hasn't this been done to death? Well, probably has for some people who don't understand what the hell they're doing. I've seen tools, I've had people come from other people's tools, charging $97 a month for them, and come saying, why isn't this working? I said, because the guy doesn't understand how it's supposed to work. He doesn't understand it. He just created something because he thinks it's popular at the time, but he doesn't understand what the hell is happening here, what is supposed to be happening, why it's working. You got to understand why, and you got to understand the how and the what. A lot of people don't understand yet how you can use it for ranking multiple keywords. They're still seeing like that one keyword that they get in CTR click. They're still seeing that as the way to go, and they're still advertising, well, you can only get your rankings for that particular keyword that you tell. They still don't understand a lot of stuff because they're not invested in it. They're not invested in it properly. They just built a tool so they can make money, in other words. Anyway, let's come back in here. Keyword poking. So I like ranting, guys. I really like ranting, so it's good. Okay, so in here, look, this is where we do the settings for this. This is where we're going to put it. We're going to choose a video, and you're going to give it some basic optimization. You're not going to put a lot in here because all we want to know with the keyword poking is, can we get rankings for these keywords without any backlinks? Can we get rankings for these keywords fast? Which keywords can we get rankings for? Is there any traffic with those keywords? Okay, those are the kind of things that we want to find. That's why it's called keyword poking. Okay, but here's the thing with this. I got this built to go with the KGR tool because I actually think this is a better strategy, especially for video marketers. And then we built this tool here called the tag grabber. So if I put in here, for example, CBD oil for dogs. In fact, let's just do CBD oil, okay? And I start scraping. Now I can put in multiple keywords here. Okay, and it's going to take, it can take up to about 30, 40 seconds sometimes, depending how many keywords you got in here. And what it's doing here is it's going to look for the top 50 search results for that keyword. It's going to pull back the top 100 tags used between those 50 videos. So if you've got 10 keywords here, it's going to do that 10 times, right? And here's what happens. It pulls back the most common used keywords. CBD, CBD oil, cannabis, all this kind of stuff. And you can start to see the keywords that's been used in the tags from the people who are actually ranking for these terms. These are the keywords, these are the tags that they are using, the exact tags that they're using. Somebody is asking where I'm getting the keywords from. It's not just from the keyword keg tool, it's not from any specific keyword tool. I start with YouTube. I start with YouTube because you can see real information there, but you can see the exact views people have got. You can see that that video there has got like 422,000 video views, for example. That is not a guess then. You can see, well, that video's got that amount of views. Okay, it might be because he's got a great headline. It might be because he's got a fantastic thumbnail that really stands out. But also I'm going to have a look and see what keywords he's using. Okay, now if you could do that 50 times over in 10, 15, 20 seconds, how important is that? So this is built into that particular tool as well. That's the exciting part of that tool. So that's what we're giving as a bonus. And you can see we've got Rank Tracker and a couple of other tools in here as well. So that's basically what that bonus was. Okay, I'll stop. I'll pass it back over to you, Ossia. You there? All right. I think I better just carry on anyway. And let me just go back to another.
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to pass this back over to you, but I can answer any other questions. There was a couple came up. One came up about the proxies, what kind of proxies. You need good quality proxies to do this with this tool, okay? But we are going to build an extra tool that will be coming in the next few days as well. But before I tell you about that, let me tell you about the proxies. We use Squid private proxies. They are not the cheapest, they are private proxies for a reason. And we use them, but here's where we can be different from everybody else, because you're kind of limited how many views, etc. you can do, because these are expensive and they're not easy to, it's not easy to go and get hundreds and hundreds of views when you've got like 25 proxies. So what we've got is a private Facebook group that we've just started as well, okay, where people are actually doing campaign swaps, okay? So before I switch it over, let me just show you in here. If I want to take a campaign, I can click on save and I can save it. I can give it a name and save it. And then what you can do in the Facebook group is say, look, I need 50 views from somebody who's got 25 proxies, or I need 25 views from somebody that's got 25 proxies. I usually do 2 to 1. If I've got 25 proxies, that's 50 views for a video that I'm going to be doing, okay? And you can do the same for them. If you've got 5 or 6 people in a group doing that, then you can go and get like 300 views, etc. Believe me, 300 views is massive with this strategy. You don't even need that much, but we have added that in. So that means that those proxies that you were investing in, they go a lot further by doing it like this, so that you can swap with like-minded people who just want their campaigns done with your proxies. So instead of giving them your proxies, you just swap your campaigns, and he will run the campaign, and basically he will send this back to you, and you can see the exact views that's happened here. Okay. So we're going to build another tool as well. The other tool is going to be for mass video viewing, but not the CTR clicks. Okay, and that will be done probably in about 3 or 4 days.
Excellent.
So that will be, you just put in your YouTube URL, you tell the software how many views, you're going to have proxies. That with that particular tool, you can test other proxies. It doesn't have to be the Squid private proxies. You can go and scrape proxies, but you've got to understand it's a numbers game when you're using proxies that are not the private proxies, but it can work. It can be effective for that strategy, just not the CTR clicks strategy, but just video viewing, because we've been testing this. I've been told you that we're testing things all the time. This is going back to 2014. What we're testing now is getting 1,000, 2,000 views, right, that are high retention views, but without the CTR clicks, in combination with the CTR click stuff. But you start off with the CTR clicks. Remember I said that when the real traffic comes, those engagement signals from the real traffic start to take over. Well,
Yeah.
I was looking at sort of putting a delay in there, putting some kind of resistance in there to give us a little bit longer. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to test and that we found was really effective was going to getting 1,000 or 2,000 video views that were at least 2 minutes. They would have to be at least 2 minutes watch time. This is what we found from testing. Okay, that would maintain your rankings for longer. So what we will do is we will build a tool for that. Okay,
Tony, let me just chip in quickly because people are saying they want to leave. So
okay.
For those that want to leave, this is the URL. Okay, it's tinyurl.com join-algo-team. Okay, we've still got a bit more to show you. And Tony, you can come back to at the end. Let me just quickly go through the offer so that they understand what they're seeing there. So like I said, we've got different options, okay, for the offer. We've got the light, the core, and the full to match the software. With the light, you only get the software, the light version of the software, nothing else, okay? And plus the, actually, sorry, let me just say this now. The fast action bonus is only available for those that are on the webinar. And I wanted to say this before we get here because I'll cut it out from the recording. Okay, so if you're on the webinar, you're going to get the fast action bonus regardless of what you do. Okay, but those that are watching the recording are not going to get the fast action bonus. So I don't want to talk about it. So I'll need to cut out this part from the recording. Okay. So for the light version, you get the software, the light version of the software, nothing else for $197. For core, you get everything in light, which is the light version of the software, plus the CTR blog viewer. And then you get part 1 and part 3 of the STM funnel, which is audience seduction and page 1 banking, the monetization. And that is for $297. Then for the full version, you get everything in core. You get the Bing and Yahoo viewers, you get the playlist viewer, you get the end screen viewer, you get the CTR and bounce and feature as well for $697. Okay, but what I need to explain is that when you go to that URL, you're not going to see anything about the STM funnel because we didn't have time to put that in. You'll just see stuff about the software. Okay, so just know that you with the core and the full versions, you get the STM funnel. So you get parts 1 and part 3 of the funnel in addition to the software. With the light version, you only get the software. You don't get part 1 and part 3. Okay, and what I've got here is at the top is I should have got rid of that. Okay, right. So I think we're virtually at the end now. So basically, if you need, like I said at the beginning, and I asked these questions, if you need to drive more free traffic to your websites or videos, or if you are interested in a hands-free opportunity to monetize your content, or if you just want to increase your income during this pandemic without having to leave your home, okay? And basically, if you are still here with us, it means that you answered yes to at least one of these questions, which means you are interested in achieving the results which ordinary people like Jeremy, Emmett, Jamie, and so on are achieving, okay? And the way to do it is this, basically, with the STM funnel. So you rank on page 1 of Google, and or YouTube for high traffic keywords in less than 2 weeks. And we've shown you, how to do that. Then you stay on page 1 with great content, okay, without using backlinks, and then earn as much as $4,000 per month or more. All right. Then this basically is exactly what the STM funnel will do for you. And if you want to join us, that is the URL, tinyurl.com, join-algo-teach. Okay. So that is it. So Tony, you can carry on, because I think I've come to the end of what I have to say. And we've done, how long have we done? Okay, it's an hour and a half. So yeah, we'll be rounding up soon, guys. But Tony,
Okay.
you can carry on from here.
Can you put the screen back, keep it on yours, you keep presented, but put it back onto the offer where you've got the lights and decor and
Okay, all right, I'll do that.
put that screen back up. I can explain some things
Yeah,
for
okay.
that. Okay, so that full version there that you can see, it's got a couple of things that we didn't even talk about yet. Okay, so one of the things that has come up, remember I was talking about the suggested video that can get you a lot more views than just the YouTube search. Well, actually you can get like 2 times more views if you listen to people like Brian Dean, for example. And often the algorithm for that we can manipulate even further. Now, one of the things that we discovered was that if you have, when you're uploading a video onto YouTube, you have that option to put an end screen at the end. And one of the options to put the end screen at the end, if you're doing it within YouTube itself, is that you can put a video, or you can put 2 videos, and it will just nicely place them at the end of your video for you.
So, Tony,
yeah.
1 second. Let me transcend the URL to people. I'm gonna take over the screen and show them the website. Okay. Then I'll transcend the URL to people, because it looks like they're having trouble getting it. All right, bear with me, guys. I'll send you the URL. I should have done that soon, but like I said, we haven't done this for ages, so we're out of practice. Sorry about this. Tony, have you taken control?
I haven't touched anything yet.
So do you want to take control of
Okay.
and show them?
Right.
Yeah, show them your screen. Show them your screen,
All
and
right,
then you can go to the landing page where you've got the options. Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
So here's the options here. So this end screen view is what I wanted to tell you about, because we discovered that by getting extra views that comes from the end screen video, if somebody watches your first video all the way through, okay, and then they continue to watch because they click on the end screen video, it increases your watch time. It increases your session time inside YouTube. It also increases the session time for your channel. Each one of those is an individual ranking algorithm, okay? The watch time in YouTube itself, the watch time inside your channel itself, okay? They're all ranking factors. So what we did for that full version.
Just quickly, guys, I've put the link in the chat, so please let me know if you've seen the URL. It's in the questions box, and everybody should have that. So can you give us a 1 if you can see it? Okay, excellent. All right, Tony, carry on.
Yeah, okay. So basically what we did here, guys, I won't be too long with this. We put this end screen video viewer here. You can go as deep as you want. So if you got like 4 or 5 videos, then you can go deep with that. You can say, like, okay, I want at the end of this video, once the software's watched it, to go and click that end screen video and watch that as well. Okay, if that end screen video has also got an end screen video, you can go deeper. You just tell it go to 2 videos deep, 3 videos deep. You can increase that session time, that channel watch time. Okay, it's all algorithm ranking factors for the suggested video. This is really important. Nobody else is doing this kind of stuff. Nobody else has even got close to that yet. Okay, nobody else is talking about that yet. Okay, it's just one of those things that we kind of figured out. here's the thing with this, and here's how this can work really, really well. If you have got like 3 or 4 videos in a campaign, and this is not unusual as well, you get 3 or 4 videos in a campaign where you are basically targeting different angles around a promotion. Say, for example, it's an affiliate promotion. Say, for example, I'm promoting VidAttack Alpha. Well, I might be promoting VidAttack Alpha from the viewpoint of the engagement signals. I might be promoting VidAttack Alpha from the viewpoint of the suggested video optimization. Okay, I might be promoting it for the ability to rank with 0 backlinks, or I might be promoting it with the angle of how to rank web pages with YouTube video views. I've got different angles, so I might want to create a video for each one of those. Okay, now here's the thing, if I've got those 4 videos and we've got one end screen video on each, and that end screen video on each is the same video every time, and we're running these views, then we keep increasing the views on that particular video because it's the end screen video all the way to the end of that video. We found that is a major ranking factor for the suggested video as well, for that video that gets watched, for the end screen video that gets watched. And that's a little trick as well that we're sort of working more deeply with. And this is where we get deep with this stuff. This is where we start to really understand stuff that nobody else really is doing, nobody else is even talking about. So that's a major addition that we just recently added. Now, another thing that we've recently added as well is the playlist views. Now, the playlist views is going to watch the first video on the playlist. So we have a little strategy where basically we create playlists that we get YouTube to curate for us, because we can curate videos that are the top ranking videos. So for example, I can make a playlist all about rank with 0 backlinks, and I can make a separate playlist for rank your video and suggested video, okay, or suggested video algorithm, etc., okay. So I could have my same video in that playlist.
Tony, what version are these features in? I guess this is in the full
all
version.
in the full version. This is all in the full version to get everything. This is to get these extra search engines and to be able to do these playlists and to be able to do these end screen videos. Okay, now this is serious stuff, guys. This is very serious stuff. If you want to get real traffic, you want to get real rankings, this is the kind of stuff that goes way beyond what anybody else is teaching, what anybody else is doing right now. Okay, the thing is with this, if you're doing these playlists, you can get Google to curate the content for those playlists, either by taking the top ranked videos for the particular keywords that you want to target, making a playlist and putting your video at the top with your thumbnail at the top. Okay, and then we can do the playlist views, which will watch the video at the top of the playlist, your video. Okay, so we get more views from there by doing that as well. What we're doing is we're basically cementing the relevance for our video for that keyword, because YouTube have curated that content for us. It said, look, these are the top 10 most relevant videos for that particular keyword phrase. And you're saying, wait a minute, I'm putting my video in there as well, and I'm going to go and get a lot of views for it as well. I'm going to get the CTR clicks, I'm going to get the views, I'm going to get the watch time, the retention time for that video. Okay, you can see how that works. Now, you do that 3 or 4 times with these different keywords, with those different angles. You can see how powerful that can be. But you can also do it not just with the top ranked, you can also do it with the top viewed as well. Why would you do the top viewed? Here's where we're going with this. We want to get suggested videos optimization done, but we want to get some suggested video optimization done for videos that are actually getting a lot of views. Okay, so what we're kind of saying, okay, rankings is great. We can get our content curated from YouTube. That's good, that's important. But what about if we optimize for these suggested videos that have got views? Then we're getting into a different dimension. Then we're getting into a different realm of optimization. Then we're going way beyond anything that anybody else is doing. And this is powerful stuff, guys. Okay. And
Tony, we've got a question.
Yeah.
Michael, he's saying the payment page is saying this is an additional cost, not part of the full version, that the channel retention is an additional cost. So can you clarify for him?
Okay, let me just open the sales page and click through on it. Sometimes we do like in sell bumps, but I don't think we did for this particular one. This is a $697 offer, Michael, yeah? Let me just click through. There might be something in the cart that's like a pre-sale bump or something like that.
Yeah, he says yes, it is.
And just click on through in the buy now button, and I'll see what's there. Then I can answer it more clearly. No, ignore that. It's part of the tool. Sorry, that's my mistake. I got my assistant to do that. Ignore that. You do not need that. It's already part of the tool. It should not be showing here unless you were buying the core version or the light version. That's why that's there. It should not be shown for the 697 version. You already get that with the 697 version. With the 697 version, you've also got $100 discount, okay, to bring it down to 597. That includes all of the features, all of the tools within the VideoTech Alpha software suite. Okay, so ignore that if you're on the 697 offer. You've already got it. My apologies. I will get that fixed.
Yeah, we'll make sure you get everything if you get the 697. Okay, so that I think that is like a clerical error.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
John is saying don't blame Tanya for this error, Tony. So yeah, and that's just a human error. Michael, sorry about that. Okay. All right, I think we should be wrapping up.
Okay, I'll get Tanya to do that first thing in the morning. If anybody has bought those upgrades and you already bought 697, we will refund those upgrades, so you get your money back because you've already got it. Yeah.
Yep. With a special coupon, yeah, you do get $100 off. So
yeah, there's $100 off if they use that coupon, but that's only for 24 hours. We will put that up. Well, I was saying if anybody had bought that 697 or 597 offer and they had taken those pre-sale bumps for those from that era, then I will refund for those pre-sale
do a
bumps.
refund. Yeah,
we'll do a refund on that. So you haven't lost anything, guys. You will get it back if you have. Okay.
And the other thing too is that you won't get immediate access to part 1 and part 3, the seduction and the page 1 banking. That will come to you later, but you will get immediate access to the software. Okay, and that's for the core and the full. If you get the light version, then you don't get part 1 and part 3. Okay. Okay, guys. Are there any other questions? JLH is saying Oz will take the blame for any mistakes. Yeah, I'm happy to take the blame. I'm really I'm really out of practice. So yeah, blame me. We got another question from Jonathan. He says, do we get the upgrades as part of the price? And I think, Tony, if you get the full version, then don't get the upgrades. But if you get the lights or the core, then you might need to get the upgrades. Would that be right, Tony?
If you take that full version, you've got everything here. You've got everything. You've got all of the training that Oz is doing and all the tools within VideoTech Alpha for this. And if you use that 100 special, you get $100 off. That's only going to be there for 24 hours. That $100 special. I was only going to make that for in webinar, but I'll give it 24 hours because.
Okay, so people that watch the video recording will have a few hours to get this.
Yeah.
Assuming we can get the video out early enough. Okay.
Yeah, and the other two.
So Terence is asking, what is the bonus? The bonus was the KGR tool.
Yeah.
That he showed you.
It's got the YouTube keyword poking tool.
But that is only for but that's only for people that buy during this webinar. So I don't even like talking about the fast action bonus because I don't want other people to know about it. But yeah, that is the bonus, the KGR tool that he demoed. Okay. But only if you buy, during the webinar. And I'm going to cut out all mention of the fast action bonus so that people don't ask for it. People that watch the recording don't ask for it, really. And we've got another question from Dola. I hope I pronounced that right. She's asking if we'd previously purchased this tool, which option should we buy?
Let me just see if I can find the question. I didn't quite understand it.
It's at the bottom.
from Dollar. If we previously purchased this tool, which option should we buy? If you've already purchased Dollar, this particular tool, there are some upgrades for people who purchased previously. If you, I will give Oz the details. He can send you the details. Okay, but we have got an extension pack, what we called an extension pack for those extra tools with the end screen video viewer and the playlist viewer, etc. So that was sold as an upgrade for people who had existing licenses at that time.
Okay.
So Oz can give you details of that.
Excellent. And yeah, shows how out of practice we are. Usually I include an email for questions, and JLH is asking. So can we give them your support email address, Tony?
Yeah, support@anthonyhayes.me. Okay.
Can you type it in and then send to everyone?
Right now I'm just trying to find a question so I know where to put it in the right place.
But I can send it to everyone. So it doesn't really matter who you respond to. Yeah. Okay, so Scott, I'll get you info for the extension pack, Scott, okay? And can you put in a hyperlink in the box? Is that the URL? Okay, I'll do that again. Send to all. And yeah, Andrew is asking, what is the secret new tool?
That's the video viewer, the mass video viewer, the one I told you that you can do the video views without the CTR clicks when you do that in combination, so that we can maintain our rankings that little bit longer when those real traffic comes with those real engagement signals. We can sort of match with higher volume than what we could with the CTR click and the video views in combination. That would just be the CTR, that would just be the video views, high retention video views that you would run. So you could run like 1,000 or 2,000. You can use cheaper proxies for that particular strategy as well. And it's just a numbers game at that point. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think we are going to round up. This has gone on much longer than I thought it would. So let me just reply to you, Scott. And then if you've got any questions, please type them in now. Otherwise, we're going to end in the next few minutes. Okay, guys, thanks for staying this long with us. And big thanks to you, Tony. Like I said, I was so excited about this, and I knew we had to work together because this is needed in the community, because many of us had given up on SEO, as you well know, and had moved on to paid traffic because we thought that was the only way to get quality and targeted traffic quickly. But with this, I mean, it's a game changer, absolutely. And that's why I wanted to bring this to my audience first of all, even before we've perfected the offer and the product. And once we do that, then we're going to be taking it public, maybe do a launch and increase the price massively. So you guys are getting first dibs at this. And yeah, that's to reward you for sticking it out with us and for being around. And I'd like to wish you all a very happy new year and a very successful one as well. Okay. And yeah, for those of you that do come on board, we'll see you in the Facebook group. That is something else that hasn't actually been mentioned here. So you will get access to the Facebook group where we'll all exchange ideas, strategies, and campaigns as well. So it's not just the campaigns that you'll get access to in the Facebook group. Okay, guys.
Right, guys,
yeah,
thank you very much.
Dennis wants to know when the replay will be available. Hopefully tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, as soon as possible. Okay, but within 24 hours.
Yeah, within a few hours, I will have the replay within a few hours. It's like 5:50 a.m. here in Thailand, so my day's just starting. So when you're sleeping, I'll be doing this. When you wake up.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
All right, guys. Okay. Bye, guys.